Welcome back to the channel, Panda Pals. Today we are going to be covering Before the 90 Days, Laura and Birkan. So buckle up and let's get this show started.
I got to meet Birkan's friends. They kept having conversation in Turkish. I can't help feeling they were keeping a secret from me.
It's a new day, and Birkan decides to take Laura on a romantic getaway to try and get out of the doghouse. Laura doesn't love this because it is starting to feel a bit manipulative. I mean, she just found out all of this awful stuff about him, and she just kind of feels like he's trying to butter her up with grand gestures of love.
I am incredibly nervous at the thought of a romantic getaway right now. You're trying to win me back over with something sweet that comes across to me as manipulative.
And my only question is, with what money, Birkan? With what money? Anyway, when Laura told us that this whole thing felt a bit manipulative, I was like, oh my god, she isn't as dense as I thought she was. But then this absolute dummy goes on to say that maybe this trip is a good thing because they are gonna be in a more lovey-dovey state, which is stupid, because girl, that does not erase the manipulation, the absolute childish behavior, the debt, the lies, the desire to flee his country to avoid having to pay off the debt that he accrued by choosing to gamble instead of work. Like, how?
It also could be a good thing that we're getting away right now because we'll have more time to process and be in a more lovey state.
Birkan is like, oh my gosh, thank the Lord that I am taking her on this trip because Laura needs some more spice in her life, aka me.
I think she needs some spice in life. This is my Spicing It Up project, and I am the spice in her life, so.
If Birkan is spice, then I am a man. I am a man with a giant dong. They tour a castle, and Birkan tells us that his friends were right. Laura should know that his crippling amount of debt was partially accrued because he does nothing but smoke and gamble every single day. And he's like, I don't really know how she's gonna take that. Not well, buddy. Not well.
I get to be the princessa now in the castle.
Nah, I'll always be a princess.
When do I get to be the princess?
I have no idea.
Girlie thinks that this is him being cute, but no, he's being so serious. Laura's like, oh my gosh, this was such a wonderful surprise. Thank you so much. And Birkan is like, well, I do love you, so I always try my best. And this dumb bitch is like, I know you do. Girl, reality, could you please enter it? And then Birkan is like, listen, I know you have a bunch of questions for me, so come on, out with them. And so Laura asks about his debt and how he got it.
We're still thinking about marriage, and you have a lot of questions, so.
Can you tell me where your debt came from?
Do you want the truth?
Yeah.
So Birkan tells us his journey to debt. He apparently owned a couple of shisha bars. So in 2019, he opened his first bar, and then that started to show promise. So he took out a loan from a bank and he opened a second bar with it. And then I guess both of them were making so much money that he decided to open up a third bar. And then a little thing called COVID hit, and that ended up pushing him into bankruptcy. And he had to sell everything. He had to sell all of his bars, his house, his cars. If it had value, it was gone. Then he says he worked whatever job he could, and sometimes he would end up working 24 hours straight, and he would only get paid $40, which, that's crazy if that's true. So he was like, fuck this, and he decided to find a way to make more money, and that way was gambling.
I gamble a lot.
How often are you gambling?
If I have money, I gamble, so it could be every day.
The way that I would have dove right into the water and swam my ass all the way back to the States if I was Laura. She asks Birkan if the debt is all from gambling, and he tells her that not all of it is. And he's like, I do have a lot to pay, but that is why I gamble, okay? Like, I have no other way to make money. And Laura tells us that she thinks gambling is fine if you have the money. But Birkan doesn't have any money, so what the f is he doing?
That's not a job. The fact that he thinks he can gamble instead of actually going out and finding a job is ridiculously concerning to me.
So this past February, Laura apparently gave Birkan a bunch of money instead of a Valentine's Day gift. I think she said she gave him 150 bucks. And she asks him if he took that money and gambled it. And he says yes, and that it was because of gambling the money that she gave him that he was able to pay the rent for him and his roommates that month. And then he says that gambling is something that he has to do, but he still does not think that he is addicted to it.
Gambling is not an addiction for me. If I was addicted, I don't care if I lose or win, but I care. And I'm winning.
Oh, sir. People addicted to gambling care intensely about whether they win or lose. That is why they are addicted. Did God put any brain cells into your head when he made you?
What if you would have lost that?
I will figure it out.
That seems irresponsible.
What can I say?
Laura is pissed, okay? She is angry. And she's like, am I supposed to believe that you're not gonna come to America and gamble all of my money away? And Birkan tells her that no, he would never touch her money. But, buddy, you already did? Anyway, Birkan is like, I'm not gonna touch your money. If I work and make $5,000, I will give you $4,000, and then I will take the remaining $1,000 and I'll gamble with that, okay? And sure, I could lose all of it, but I could also potentially turn it into $50,000.
I will make that 1,000, maybe nothing, maybe 50,000. Because this is me, this is my life, this is how I do things.
Which is not a problematic way of thinking at all. Now, if you didn't know, when you apply for a K-1 visa, you have to legally swear that you will financially be responsible for the person that you are bringing over for, I think it's like 10 years. So Laura is very hesitant about this, and Birkan just tells her that he could win the jackpot one day, and if he wins the jackpot, he will have succeeded. I guess implying that once he hits the jackpot, he will have no desire to gamble, which, like, buddy, that's not how an addiction works, but okay. And Laura is like, okay, so until you hit the jackpot, you're gonna keep gambling? And Birkan is like, yeah.
It's alarming to me that he thinks that this is the best way to make money. I feel like I should just pull the plug and go home now.
Listen to your gut, girly, okay? Listen to it. Please. Anyway, that is all I have for you for this one. Oh my gosh. On one hand, I can't be super sympathetic towards Laura because, like, have some standards, but Birkan is delusional, a little insane. I can't believe that this man gambles every single day, says that he has to gamble, and he does not think he is addicted. I can't believe that he thinks that people addicted to gambling do not care whether they win or lose. Buddy, they care so much. They are addicted to gambling because they are chasing the loss. Like, they know. They may not know how much, but they know when they're losing, okay? And they don't like it. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you are not subscribed to the channel yet, do me a solid, click that subscribe button, give this video a big thumbs up, and let me know down in the comments below what you thought of this episode, particularly when it comes to Laura and Birkan. I will see you in the next one. Bye!